weekend it's a seaside derby between two once bucket-rattling sides that are now on the up. It's Brighton versus Bournemouth. It's on Sunday, 2 p.m. at the Amex. This is Back of the Net and this is the big match preview. I'm Sam Davis.
I'm Tom Jordan.
Hello Tom, how are you?
I'm very well, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, very good. Although, a bit worried playing the Seagulls. Free scoring Seagulls, no less. They've scored in every game this season and they've scored 3 goals or more in 4 of their 5 games this season. That makes me a little bit concerned.
Yeah, that's not getting the positive juices flowing really, mate. But listen, we all know that Brighton are a team on the up, in the ascendancy, doing really well. But, you know, stranger things have happened, mate. You never know. We gave them a run for their money last season, I felt, when we weren't in a good place. So who knows? Who knows? They've just had a game in the week, so it might help us. Let's
see what did happen last season then, eh?
We're at London Road Station and we're just seeing that Everton are still 1-0 up with 2 minutes to go. We need to get on this one, we need to. It doesn't stop though. It doesn't stop. I'm going to try to get on it. When we get the ball. We shouldn't have had to play so deep in our half, mate. We were inviting it on,
Yeah, now we can't make any subs.
Yeah.
Just got back 5 on.
And we can't make any subs. 3 subs at 3 different windows. Can't make any changes even if we wanted to.
Oh, that Lerma miss, mate. That Lerma miss in the first half, and then when Semenyo went through and nearly pulled the trigger, it was quite close. But then it was their star man Matoma that headed their winner in the 87th minute when we all thought that we're probably going to emerge with a point, which would have been a good point, but Brighton ground it out, didn't they? Were we unlucky? I don't know.
I don't know. I think we grafted well in the game with them being the better side. And I remember that one that there's quite a lot of our new players were playing, weren't they, from January? And I think we were without Solanke, which is obviously key to us. So we've done well to stick in there. I think I remember at the time he bought on, it was Gary O'Neill obviously at the time, bought on Vino and we went to a 5 and really tried to hang on, didn't we, like we did a few times, and it didn't work on that occasion. We were a little bit unlucky, but they were the better team on the day. I think they missed a few big chances themselves. But yeah, we fought right to the 87th minute. So that's no mean feat at Brighton. You know, it's a horrible place to go. Even the big boys would go, this is a tough place to go. So.
Yeah. Well, if you're a Brighton fan, there's a reason to subscribe to our channel, Tom, because there's plenty of Brighton content, not least a video that comes out about an hour after the final whistle.
Yeah, hour after the final whistle, there'll be the fan cams, so the instant reaction from fans at the stadium. Might get some Brighton fans on, you're welcome to come over. But plenty of Bournemouth fans reaction to the game. And then, we try and get out Sunday, Monday, depending on,
how tired we are.
Yeah, how tired we are. Get the old match day vlog out, so you get to see how we experienced it from away fans' point of view. Then we go into the second look, dissect that game a little bit more. Then we'll do the Premier League show. So you've got more Premier League stuff, so we'll talk about Brighton there, I'm sure. And then we've got an away day show. And Brighton, like if you haven't watched last season, we revamped it. But the away day show last season, Brighton struggled because that's a show we talk about everything outside of the game. So our away day experience, and Brighton didn't do well last year.
So this time we're mixing up with where we go, how we travel, all that kind of stuff. So there's a reason to like, but also subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and you'll get the notification. But weirdly though, Tom, it's not the biggest game that's happening on Sunday, is it?
No, it's not. No, it really isn't. There's I'm already focused in the zone. It's hard to talk about another game when I've got such a key one beforehand. It's at Manor Football Ground.
Yeah, in Brighton. It's an AFC Bournemouth fan side that Back of the Net have put together. Back of the Net FC. So I don't know. Look, if you're of a certain vintage, you'll remember the IFA games, the Internet Football Association games between clubs of various different, in like the Ensley League at the time, and Power League, whatever it was. On their mailing lists, on the forums, they would just get 11-a-side games organised with the team we're playing that day, home and away.
Mailing list, forums.
God,
you don't know our audience, mate. They're young. We're young.
Ray Brown, give us a wave. He did the mailing list for quite a while, and then it went to Topica. I remember that, but there was a good few names on that you'll probably recognise now from Twitter. But I remember we played Reading at home. I scored a hat trick in that, and then
Get the win?
we did, and then we beat Reading 3-1 at Dean Court that afternoon as well.
Okay.
Scott Means scoring a couple.
Oh, bloody hell.
So that was going back a bit at the old Dean Court.
Yeah.
Also Luton Town away, I remember playing them. But anyway, we're doing it back then. But this is a trial, so we're doing not 5-a-side, not 6-a-side, not 11-a-side, 8-a-side. Who's heard of that? No one?
I don't know.
We're doing 8-a-side.
That's good though. You don't have as much running to do. Me and you can take a bit of a breather. I'm looking forward to it though. Be good. It's going to be an early start. I thought, we've got Brighton away. Have a bit of a lie-in. It's only down the road. Early start. We've got a game before the game.
And we'll vlog it as well. So look, if you want to come along, we'll put the link in the description below. It's 9 a.m. kickoff at the Manor Road gym, and there's outdoor pitches there where we'll be playing in red and black. Jeff Hayward's going to be donning the red and black. His son Joe, Tom, Mark Jackson, some familiar faces, including Ben P as well from TikTok as well. Anyway, should we talk about the real football? That is the real football.
Yeah. Let's talk about the other game.
The other game. Here's the league table. Brighton are 5th in the league at the moment, and they, like I said, have scored the most goals. They've scored 15, and they've got a reasonably flawless record.
Why have you showed the league table? I've been all positive. They've scored more than City.
Yeah.
Jesus. And I'm looking at them. Look at that. Right, so Tottenham, who are second, we played them. Liverpool, third, played them. Arsenal, fourth, got them next week. Brighton, fifth, about to play them. West Ham, sixth, played them. This is the most outrageous start to the season I've ever seen. And we're not even in the bottom three after them fixtures. I mean, we've got 2 more of them. But that is a madness, isn't it? But yeah, I've been saying that I think in a weird way for us, when you're adapting a new style, new manager, it's probably better to get the hard teams out of the way.
I agree with that.
And then you're in a good place for the more winnable games. Yeah. But yeah, just looking at that from a Brighton perspective, they're bloody good, aren't they?
So there may be some dark times on the pitch on Sunday. We hope not. We hope that Iraola's boys will make it sunny, because it'll be sunny on the day. Ooh. It's going to be a beautiful day, which means that the cameras, when I have them out for the vlog, when I'm going to have one on each half and showing you doing some Cruyff turns and stuff, will all be good. It's going to be a lovely day, 17 degrees Celsius, no rain at the Amex, and should be a good one.
I would recommend getting down to a beach if they had a half-decent one. We got real sand. That's all we've got, right? You all good football team, let us have the beach.
So let's check out the Brighton results this season then. Tom, do you want to talk us through?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, their first one was a routine run out really against a newly promoted side.
Yeah, I think you look at it and you go 4-1 Brighton, that was expected against Luton, but equally you don't want to play a newly promoted team on the opening day, in my opinion. It's tough because they're on a high, so that was a good win from them. Then they went to Wolves, tough place to go, battered them as well. The West Ham one was interesting because I remember watching that, so I think it must have been a Sunday. And I remember watching it and Brighton absolutely murdered them, but West Ham played it to perfection. That low block caught them on the break in a few transitions and got the win, which was a surprise. The win against Newcastle was very impressive. Scoring 3 against Newcastle was very good, and then beat United. And the fact that them going to Old Trafford, scoring 3 and winning wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't surprised in the slightest.
No, that says it all. The only surprise was the other night, mate. Losing in their first game in Europe. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were the better team. They didn't start the game very well, I watched it. And AEK Athens has actually done a good job. But they had most of the control, and you thought when it got to 2-2, you thought there's only one team winning this, and they got caught. I don't think it will make too much difference. I still think they will do all right in Europe. But yeah, that was a little bit of from my point of view, I was glad that they had to work their socks off and in the game for it was like 13 minutes added as well.
3 minutes or something.
Yeah, so that was good from my perspective, thinking that a little bit of fatigue there. You're just trying to grab everything you can, but yeah, interesting.
Do you know what scares me though? Do you know what scares me? We can look at the last 5 games that Brighton have played in. Now, excuse these graphics because you'll see that some numbers are upside down. That's because we got the stats off SofaScore where they were away, so you can see that for Man United there and for Wolves it's upside down. It's just the way they present it. So we flipped it so you can sort of compare the players' average positions. Now this is Brighton's average positions during the game, and mate, I'm sensing something that
Yes.
West Ham and AEK Athens, the teams where they are most advanced. Look, I think for both of those,
Yes.
they've got 2 players and the goalkeeper in their own half. Every other one, I think they've got a fairly routine. It concerns me that they don't do well against teams that have got a low block. Bournemouth do not have a low block, and I see no evidence of that being a thing under Andoni Iraola. We're a very open side, and we like to play teams that are open. Arguably, we could get severely punished.
Yeah, and you do wonder if we briefly spoke about last season's game where we held them to 87 minutes, and no disrespect, but we played completely differently there. We were more of a low block side under O'Neill, and that obviously frustrated them and nearly worked. Yes, it's a concern for me that the way we play is how Brighton will probably like us to play. Yeah. We're not a team that will, like I say, I've watched the Athens game and the West Ham game. We won't play like them two did, in my opinion. Having said that, I remember previewing our last game against Chelsea, speaking to opposition to Chelsea fans, and they had struggled against Forest and against West Ham, where them teams had low blocks, and we got something off Chelsea. And did we adapt slightly? I think, don't get me wrong, the philosophy and the way of playing was still there, but I did think we adapted a little bit and kind of let Chelsea have the ball in moments, because we thought, let's not leave ourselves too open. And I felt we were well worthy of that point against Chelsea. So, I do think that Andoni's obviously an intelligent guy, and I think he will look at that, okay, maybe we have to tweak a few little bits, because if we just go toe-to-toe with them, they'll probably have too much. And you would have said the same against Chelsea, and we got something against Chelsea, but I agree with what you're saying. It's, from a Brighton perspective, they'll be happy seeing that Bournemouth tend to play a little bit more open. We'll see, but like I say, I would always want my team to play that way, and if you're trying to develop a way of playing, I don't think you want to just throw that out the window. I think, let's keep going with it and see what happens. But there'll be a few little tweaks, I'm sure. We
did see, though, that Athens scored from a couple of set pieces, namely corners. And so Brighton fans have said on vlogs, we've got an opposition preview hopefully coming on tomorrow. And Luke, who's got brilliant vlogs, by the way, he's saying that they have got a little bit of a frailty when it comes to set piece defending, which is great, because we're known for our brilliant set.
Yeah. Now, hopefully we've worked, since we saw the Athens game, we've had a couple of days of working on taking corners. Yeah, we're not exactly known for it, but if we do put a good ball in the box, we have got some players that are decent in the air. I always think that, and that's why it's always been a frustration. But it's always good to see they've got a little bit of a weakness there. I do feel, without knowing too much, just this is purely off the Athens game, like you say, they scored 2 set pieces. I feel like not having Dunk in there, that organiser, that experience, that leader, good in the air, I think that really affected them. And I know he's kind of a doubt, and we'll get onto it, but he could be back, which I think will help them massively. I think it was quite evident that they missed that kind of organisational skills from Dunk, from set pieces. But it's always good to try and find any sort of weakness we can.
Would it have been better if maybe won? Because they're going to be smarting a little bit after that, and they'll want an immediate reaction, and who better to play than an open, expansive Bournemouth?
So what you're saying is if Brighton had won, you'd think, okay, that was expected. But because Athens got the win, they're kind of like, right, we need to step up now, and we need to... Yeah, maybe. Like I say, all I was thinking before the game, because I expected Brighton to win, actually, but all I was thinking before the game was, I want them not to be in a position where they can take people off, rest people, go through the motions, and that didn't happen. So we've got to look at that as a positive. We'll only know after the game, really, how much it affected them, I guess.
Agreed. So in terms of the summer activity from Brighton, well, they certainly had a busy transfer window. A few players in, a number of players out. Talk me through some of the players that they've got in of note that we should maybe be watching out for at the Amex, mate?
Yeah, well, I mean, we all know James Milner, whether he'll play or not. He's a nice bit of experience they've brought in there. I think
He played on Tuesday, didn't he? But he came off as a
Thursday, yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah, he did play and come off, and he's kind of going to be that sort of player. They've got a few like that, haven't they, with Lallana and Welbeck, where they've got some good young players, so it's good to have a bit of experience. Fatty had his first start, I think, on loan from Barca. So even if he doesn't start, he's a weapon off the bench. I like Dahoud that they got from Dortmund. I saw that Igor. I didn't think he was brilliant in the Athens game. And they've brought in the goalkeeper as well to compete with Steele because they lost Sanchez to Chelsea, who we just saw. Actually had a good game, didn't he, I thought, for Chelsea. But the main one for me is João Pedro. I think he was Watford's best player. And I thought it'd be interesting to see how he steps up. I remember, I think it was the COVID season where we were in the Championship with Watford and he caused some problems, yeah. He's a good player. He can play just behind the striker or up front on his own and could take a penalty, it shows, in the week as well. But yeah, they recruited well, as they always do, because they cashed in on a few, as they always do. Saicedo and McAllister, Sanchez, who I mentioned. So yeah, and they just seem to be able to go, all right, we'll just bring someone else in. And they get someone that you've never heard of, and think it'll be worth 100 million in a few years. And it is very impressive. So yeah, I don't tend to look at the name so much of Brighton. I just think they're going to be well functioning for sure, and they've got a top gaffer. So
it's funny, over the years I've always thought of Brighton as a comparable side to us, but recently in the last 10 years they have just catapulted themselves. They really have, and credit to them. We've got a head-to-head record here, and this is kicking off. We're going to start off from sort of 1995, as you can see our rise through the divisions. It's fair to, I mean, we've had some cracking matches against them. Can you name the 4 stadiums that they have played at, mate?
Amex.
Yeah.
Goldstone. What was it, Goldstone?
Yeah, the Goldstone ground. Yeah.
Goldstone. Oh God, I'm rubbish at this. What would he have it to? Go on, give me them.
The Athletics track one.
What was that called?
Withdean.
Oh, Withdean. That's the one. I don't know if I know the other one. Oh, will I?
Sharing.
No, I don't remember that one. Oh, sharing.
Yeah, they shared with.
Who did they share with?
Gillingham.
Did they?
Yeah, they played
when was
at
that?
Priestfield for a bit as well. So yeah, they
were dropping knowledge, mate.
They're a club that have look. I mean, we started that sequence of head-to-heads on the 24th of September 1995. I did that for a reason, because that was a game.
Because I was born.
You were probably quite young at this point in time.
I was 4, mate. Yeah.
4 years old. That was a point in time where ITV was more regional than what it was now. So you had like TVS, you had Granada, you had Thames Television. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. It's Meridian now. You've heard
Granada playing in La Liga.
No, it's not. But every Sunday, because ITV had the Football League contract, if a team's regional team was playing, then they could screen it live. So like if you're in the central region where there's loads of teams in the Midlands, they'd get a game like nearly every weekend. But Meridian had TVS had Portsmouth, Brighton, Southampton and Bournemouth. That was it. So one weekend it was Bournemouth v Brighton. They switched it to the Sunday, but at that point in time Brighton fans were absolutely livid with how the club was being run. We beat them 3-1. It was live on a Sunday, and Brighton fans, they ran onto the pitch during the game, causing havoc. People in the newsstand, we got some footage here, running away from them. There were only a few fans that were going at the ball, but it was to express their disappointment at how the club was being run into the ground. And at that point, I think Dick Knight, if you heard of Dick Knight, the owner for Brighton, that he came in about 97, 98, I think, and sort of steered it to safety. In that time, they sold the Goldstone ground before that, so they were homeless for a bit. Right. And then Tony Bloom came in at the moment, and then that was 2009 maybe. And at that point in time, most things were put together for this move to Falmer. It's, for some, they call it a very soulless stadium and stuff, but it's a stadium that can be expanded. The area around it is a little bit sparse, but yeah, the club has finally got a home, and a decent home, and oh how they flourished. They really have. And the fact that they've got Europa League football as well, I mean, for a club like them, I think it's absolutely phenomenal. It really is. And you know what? I know they lost 3-2 to Athens, but I genuinely think they can do bits this season. I really do, in the Europa.
Yeah, I do, and it's what we've gone back to saying on the pitch, that they'll probably, because you look at the names, and the other two teams in the group are Ajax and Marseille, and you think, oh, that sounds nasty, but they'll probably have more of a go, and I think that will suit Brighton. All it means now is they probably need to get something in one of the away games. If they win the other 2 home games, I still think they'll go through. But yeah, it's amazing for them, and it's weird, like you say, it was quite comparable with ourselves and Brighton for a while, and now they're the type of team that we're looking to try and emulate.
But maybe if we sell a few more Kings Plaza hospitality tickets, we can raise the money. And then we'll be able to build a new ground. That's what we're all hoping, right?
Yeah, we'll be fine. But yeah, they're a team that now I think not just ourselves, a lot of teams look at and go, look, they kind of sounds a little bit cheesy, but it kind of gives you hope that you think, they've broke in. Now you're going. I'm seeing people's kind of predicted league table and stuff. They're above Man U and no one's batting an eyeyelid. And it's impressive.
I mean, for them, it's ideally placed. It's a bustling city. It's a huge conurbation. It's a short train ride into London. They got everything that players would really need. And I can see why people would want to play under De Zerbi, because he's done with that side is absolutely Brilliant. Huge. And I've got a feeling, little Birdie's told me, I think we've said this before on the channel, he was nearly ours.
He was nearly ours before we got O'Neill in the end. It was kind of after Parker left. He was one of the ones we were looking at. He was in Ukraine at the time. Was it Ukraine? Yeah, he was in Ukraine one year. And we had Russian owners. And obviously
the optics for a Ukrainian bid, it wouldn't work.
So we had to kind of put that on the back burner, and then obviously Graham Potter left, and they went straight away and got him. Listen, we're quite happy where we are now with Iraola, but De Zerbi looks really impressive. So yeah, he's a very good coach, and I think, as long as I don't see a lot of people are saying, oh, when will he kind of leave? I don't see why he would at the moment. I really don't see why he would at the moment. He's got them into Europe. The feel good factor's there. And they're better than a lot of the big clubs. So, yeah, I don't see why he would. I think he'll stick around for a bit. And, yeah, they're still in for some good times, mate.
Tom, I'm going to give with one hand and take with another, right? In all competitions, Bournemouth have won 44, drawn 29 and lost 40.
Oh, okay.
So they've got the cutting edge. At the Amex, though, or one of the grounds they've played at, we've won 12, drawn 15, lost 27.
Okay.
So they might have a slight edge there, but it's okay. We're going to increase that W tally on Sunday, aren't we? Well, it all depends on who's available and who's not. Now, of course, we're all hoping that they're going to be tired, lethargic, and maybe injured after their Europa League match. But I think De Zerbi had a press conference earlier today, actually, and it looks like there are doubts over Dunk, Gross, Milner, Ferguson. They're all questionable according to Zerbi.
Yeah, all questionable, and I think it's going to be, obviously I'll get into try and predict the team. I think it's going to be very difficult because I think you've got a few in there that are doubts and will he risk them, and then you go, they've played on Thursday, which ones have recovered better? It's all guesswork, isn't it? So that's what I'm going to try and do, take a few out, put a few in. But yeah, I think they'll probably try and get a few of them back, but there might be some that are a little bit fatigued or got their knocks, which hopefully will fall into our favour. But they've got a good squad. I saw their bench on Thursday and I think, they've got. And like I kind of mentioned before, then kind of put anyone in for anyone, it kind of still functions the same. So, we'll have to wait and see, mate.
And it does seem to be they've actually got fairly good squad depth as well. They actually have. And that's one thing that at the start of the season I was wondering about it. But you know what? They've shown that they have. So whoever we play, it's not going to be easy. In terms of Bournemouth's team news, there's nothing really that's changed from what Andoni Iraola said, although Tyler Adams is getting a bit closer, is he?
Yeah, Salzburg's getting a bit closer. He said definitely not the Brighton game, and he may be a bit too soon next week, but he's partially training with the squad now, so he's hopefully not too far away from being involved, which is important for us. Having said that, Lewis done really well in that role last week. And Alex Scott, as we know, is a bit further away, and we ain't got a clue who Ryan Fredericks is. So
far behind Tyler, he said about Alex Scott.
Yeah.
Far behind.
I'm not expecting him till Christmas, really, to be honest with you. But we kind of knew that when we got him in, I guess. But apart from that, it doesn't look like anything fresh has happened since last week, which is positive for us.
If you had to name some players to watch for both sides, for the neutral, because we have loads of neutrals who are subscribed to our channel, haven't we? Who would you say?
Well, I think the obvious one for Brighton would be someone like Matoma. Obviously got the winner against us last season. But I think a lot of people know, because of how well he did last season, kind of what he's about now. So I'll probably go into João Pedro, as we briefly mentioned. I think he's really taken to the Premier League again. Done really well at Watford, and he looks like a threat. I know they're both off the spot, but he took both his penalties well and got the 2 goals in Europe as well. So watch out for him. For us, we've got a few in there, mate.
Well, I was about to say, if I was a Brighton fan, I would be thinking your classic names like Solanke,
Billing.
and like Philip Billing.
Yeah.
Name someone that's not them that they think, oh, you know.
Yeah, it kind of depends who we go with, because we saw that Justin Clive had come off the bench and made a real impact against Chelsea. So it depends who plays on the other side, because I think they'll all be aware of Tavernier as well. You've got Sinistera potentially. We've got in on loan from Leeds who may play, and also Semenyo. So one of them wide men that maybe is a little bit less known to him could cause some problems. But equally, our fullbacks like to bomb on, and if they're not tracked, if they bomb on too much, they can get caught. I think Kirkers will really like to bomb on down that left side. So we probably didn't have that last time we played them. So maybe that will catch them off guard a little bit that we got them flying fullbacks.
Do you? This time you might want to, right? Do you? I'm trying to sell it to you. Do you want to know who the referee is?
Oh, don't give up. Go on. Just tell me.
Johnny Brooks. We had
him before this season?
John Brooks. Hadn't had him this season. Okay. Had him 4 times last season. Do you want to know the record?
Tell me the games.
Okay, home against Southampton.
Shit. Lost.
Home against Chelsea.
Lost.
Home against Liverpool.
Oh.
So it's okay.
He gave them a pen.
So he did his best.
You said 4. What was the other one? Was there another one?
We also played them in the League Cup away at Newcastle.
Lost. Things have got to change.
It's got to change.
Come on, Brooksy.
Come on, let's go. Let's do teams, come on. Oh. Okay, then let's start with Brighton and Hove Albion then, Tom, and it looks like you've gone for same formation as us, copycats.
Yeah, a little bit 4-2-3-1, but as we know with Brighton, very flexible, very adaptable during the game. I'm going to go with Steele goal. I think they've got 2 good goalkeepers, so it's kind of one of them where they're in a luxury position there, but I like Steele. I think he'll play. I actually think they'll put Lamptey will get a start at right back. I think they'll look at this game to give him a start. I know Milner played in the week, but I think there's going to be, as I said, there's going to be some changes and there's a few doubts, and I've got to kind of just take a stab at who's more fatigued than who else. But I think Lamptey will come in. I think Van Heck will stay in at centre half. But as much as I don't want him to, I think Dunk will be thrown back in next to him. Like I say, he didn't play in the week and he's a doubt, but I think they'll try and get him in if they can. And then Estepinian will be in at left back. He's a good left back, mate.
He's a very good left back.
Yeah. Midfield. Originally, I was thinking Gross, but he's a doubt now, so I'm thinking Gilmore will probably stay in. He played in the week. I think he'll stay in now.
I expect to be happy with that.
Oh, Happy Gilmore. That was very good. Well done, mate. I didn't get that. You should have. In with him, I think they're going to play Dahoud, the lad from Dortmund. I didn't play in Europe, so I think he'll be a bit fresher. So I think he'll come in for this one. Off that kind of right side, I think they might rest March and go with a Dingra.
Okay.
I think they might play a Dingra. They both featured in the week, but I fancy him to play him for this one. On the other side, I think Matoma will still play, still key for him.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, we've got to keep an eye on him again. And then I actually think they're going to play João Pedro a little bit deeper in that 10. He has done it before, and I think they'll do it for this one. They'll feel like they could dominate the game a little bit more. And then I was debating Ferguson, but a doubt. I think they might go for the experience of Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck?
Yeah, I think he might start.
You love Danny Welbeck?
Yeah, I think he might start through the middle for him, try and stretch us a little bit, and that could allow Pedro to drop off and pick up the pockets. But like I say, bit of a stab there. Brighton, let us know what you think of that, because it's tough. I could make a load of changes there, because I don't know how to. I don't have the ability to know who's more tired than the others.
Okay, on to Bournemouth then. Here we go. Interested to see what you're going to do here. Come on then, talk me through it.
Yeah, like I say, we've done all right against Chelsea, and we haven't had too many, we haven't had any kind of thing fresh to change it. So, yeah, Neto will stay in goal.
No at all.
Had a good game last week, actually, which was good for him. Back 4, I think, stays the same, mate. Maxi Aaron's at right back. We'll have Zabani at centre half with Lloyd Kelly, another one who had a brilliant game last week, and Milos Kerkez in at left back. But harsh on Celesi, haven't really done much wrong, but that was they kept a clean sheet last week and played really well.
Absolutely.
The deeper 2, I think, speaks for itself at the moment with the injuries. Lewis Cook, another one, had a great game last week. And obviously Philip Billing, who is playing a bit deeper at the moment, will be the 2. On that left-hand side, I'm going to stick with Tavernier. He kind of played on the right last time, actually, because Dango come in, but I think Tav will go back to the left. My one change is
Okay.
I think Ouattara will come out, and I think a lot of people go, maybe Brooks comes in, maybe something sinister. No, I think the fact that he didn't even come on last week, he's fresh, he's ready to go again. Antoine Semenyo.
Wow.
I just feel like he didn't even come on, and I feel like he'll be fresh, and his pace could hurt. They like to bomb their fullbacks on, and if there's a bit of space in behind, a bit of Antoine in there.
But him up against Estepinan's going to be really interesting battle, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be fine. And then Christie will continue in that 10, I'm sure. Been playing really well, just obviously, as we always say, just hasn't been able to turn it into numbers yet. And the main man, Dom Solanke, leading the line. So yeah, I'm kind of going one change for us, and God knows what I'm doing with those.
There you go. There you go. Right, so one thing I do want to know is what your predictions are. Me and Tom both want to know, so let us know. And the way to do that is by just tip-tapping away below. If you're one of these people that don't, do. Hit like first, scroll down a little bit, type your score prediction, because we're really interested to hear what you think it's going to be.
What are you going for, mate?
If you want, leave 2 score predictions. One for the big game in the morning at 9 o'clock between the Bournemouth fans, Brighton FC, and Brighton fans. But then also the game at 2 o'clock, the kind of one that Sky don't even feel the need to televise. Although it is the North London time.
Yeah, there's a little bit.
So yeah, I'd like to know. Tom, I won't ask you for the morning one.
Okay, yeah.
I think we're going to... Well, I don't know. I don't want to talk about that shit.
Yes.
This could be a game that could be so open and expansive. It could be like
6-5.
7-4.
Look, listen.
Okay.
Listen, let's be realistic.
Okay, right, here we go. Bring me back down to earth. Come on. Bring me back down.
We haven't won a match. Yeah?
That is true.
Yeah, so we haven't won a match, and Brighton are absolutely flying. So are we going to go to the Amex to win? Of course we're not. 2-1 Bournemouth. 2-1 Bournemouth.
Seriously?
Yeah, we're going to win. Well, we're going to win this. We're going to win this.
Smash and grab.
I think we're going to start really well. Get an early goal. I think we're going to go 2 up at half time. And then they're going to score and we're going to... But we're going to hang on and see it through. We're going to win this. I mean, we're definitely not. We're definitely not going to win. But we're going to win.
Yeah, look, I can't go with that. No, I'm not even going to do a double bluff. You know what? I do think we're not going to leave with nothing, though.
Happy days.
So I think I think we could get a point. Would it be a 2-2 or a 1-1? Ooh, 1-1.
Okay.
1-1. I can feel it in my waters.
No, listen, we'll take that, won't we? But
yeah,
it's horrible.
Realistically, though, if I'm going to do a head and heart, my head probably says that Brighton get the result here.
Yeah. No, yeah. There's nothing.
Sorry.
There's nothing in any sort of omens or stats or anything that suggests that Bournemouth can go to Brighton and come away with anything. 2-1 Bournemouth.
All right, there you go. That's what Tom said. Look, if you want to come along to watch us in the morning, you can. Details are below. We'll be vlogging it anyway. Of course we will. And we got a busy week on Back in the Net. Not least because, apart from our usual content, there's a small matter of an EFL Cup game as well against Stoke City. So we can't wait for that. The return of Travers,
Of Ben
Pearson.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be really interesting. But thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Keep your eyes peeled because there should be an opposition show landing on your YouTube feed sometime in the next 24 hours. So check that out. But if not, see you at Falmer, at the Amex. Up the chairs.
Come on.
Come on, you Reds.
Oh, at least we got sand.
We got sand.
That's all we've got if we want to do 5-0 or something.
Pebbles in the bin.
God's sake.